I'm on the quest to find the best and, I guess, most ridiculous way to make money in New Horizons. And I did something pretty dumb in the process. Did it make me bells? Yes. Did this produce enough bells to justify the time it takes to actually do all of the things that I had to do? There are many obvious ways to make bells in New Horizons. Pretty much any activity you enjoy can earn you something. Whether it's fishing, catching bugs, interacting with your neighbors, decorating, there's always money to be made. Like every other game on the face of the earth, there are good ways and bad ways to perform specific mechanics. Using a fishing pole to catch a fish, good fishing technique. Using a net to catch a fish, bad fishing technique. Gifting villagers 2 pieces of wrapped non-native fruit, good way to interact with your neighbors. Hitting your most hated villager on the head with a net, also a good way to interact with your neighbors. So many ways to play this game that sometimes the best way isn't always the most fun way or the easiest way. Like blue roses. The best way is a lot. According to data mines by Asteriation, this is the quickest way to get yourself a blue rose. Easy? Heck no. Awesome John Plays Blue Rose video is definitely one of the simplest, easiest ways to breed those blue beauties. But is it the quickest? Absolutely not. I've got bad RNG, but it took me an entire month without time traveling to acquire a blue rose. But I never forgot exactly what step I was on or what I had to do next. Sometimes the best isn't always the best. Most of the time, the best way is the way you like to perform a specific task. Unless you're trying to catch fish with a net, then it just doesn't work. We know crops make us a lot of money. Each one of these plants can produce up to 3 vegetables. Bakura, tomatoes, or fruit. I know, vegetables, fruits, items, virtual fake things, whatever word you want to use for it. There are 3 of them, if you water them every day during the growth process, which could take a minute from your day or hours, depending on how many you have planted. Small farm, totally doable. This monstrosity, better hope it rains. Each of these virtual collection of pixels sells for 350 bells. That is 1,050 bells per plant. If only I could sell 3 blueberries for $1,000, then maybe life would be great. Unlike trees, crops can grow right next to each other, which means you can fill your entire island with crops. Like flowers, though, crops can't grow on the beach. However, the game does allow you to plant them. To get around this issue, I grew crops fully on the grass, then plopped them one at a time on the beach. That way I could actually utilize every square that the island had to offer. I even tried planting on the rocks, but our shovels don't have the power to scrape through hard stone. Maybe the next game we'll get a jackhammer. Animal Crossing New Construction. After days of picking and planting crops, I finally filled the entire island, and thanked the rain gods for the one day of not having to water each square, saving hundreds of watering cans from their untimely deaths. Unfortunately, wasn't as lucky the next 2 days, so I got to watering. And no, I didn't have any gold nuggets to make this easier on myself by crafting golden watering cans. But I did have a ton of money to purchase an obscene number of watering cans. After 3 days of time traveling and watering, the island evolved into its full beauty. Finally, the experiment was done. Well, almost done. I just had to harvest all of it and sell. Surprisingly, this didn't take too long, or at least not as long as I was expecting after spending days planting them. And it was kind of satisfying to pick all the vegetables. After many trips to the store, I ended up with a grand total of 6,893,250 bells. That's it. Days of work for almost 7 million bells. Don't get me wrong, it's not the worst. If you have no money and can do something that will throw 7 million bells into your pocket, it's a pretty good investment. But after Turnip Island, this was kind of underwhelming. Although it was way less stressful. There's no worries about time traveling correctly. I didn't have to sell them by the end of the week. No time limits at all is great. It's no 85 million bells in a week, but it's something. And you can repeat the watering harvesting every 3 days to pile on those 7 million bell sell days. Not a bad idea if you need to get a hunk of cash in a shortish amount of time, though it does take up your entire island. But the beauty of crops is their easy placement. Nothing you place around them will inhibit their growth. So you can shove these into tight spaces around your current island as a way to decorate and make some cash in the process. Thanks to this experiment, I now know there are 6,565 diggable squares on my island. Could I have done the math to figure this out without spending hours dropping vegetables in the ground? Yes, but that's not fun. Math is only fun when you're trying to figure out your turnip prices for the week, or the chances of finding your beloved cat on a mystery island. Physically planting 6,565 crops is so much more entertaining. And you're all looking for something to do in this game nowadays anyway. This will make you play for hours. Try it. Join the crop cult. So the final question, is this the best way to make bells? If you have a normal-sized farm, you can easily gain a few thousand bells every day. This, obviously, is completely unsustainable for everyday play. Unless you like watering 6,565 squares every day, then by all means, make that money. If you're going to take hours upon hours trying to solely make money, this ridiculous way really isn't the best way. Replacing all of these crops with turnips made us 85 million bells. Sure, it cost a heck of a lot more to fill an island with turnips than crops, but that 85 million was sold at the low sell price of like 135 bells, not even close to the max of 660 bells. So, comparing turnips and crops, turnips are the overwhelming winner. You want to make bells? Sacrifice some of your savings and talk to Booger Girl. That's it. That's all. Booger Girl wins. Good Booger Girl. Just a good Booger Girl.